If is written and directed by John Krasinski. It stars Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of huge A-list names, which I'm not going to list because the list is too long. And also I don't want to spoil any in case you don't know any of them. This film is about a 12-year-old girl called Bee who discovers she can see other kids' abandoned imaginary friends. She teams up with Ryan Reynolds' character Cal to reconnect them with their kids. I can't lie, If was one of my most anticipated films of the year. John Krasinski is a really talented filmmaker. I especially love the first A Quiet Place movie. I really wanted to see how he would handle a family film, and also the cast is amazing here as well. Firstly, I think Cailey Fleming, who plays Bee, is absolutely fantastic. From the minute you see her on the screen, she's so likeable, she's so easy to connect to. One of the amazing things about her performance is that amongst the fantasy stuff going on around her, she really manages to keep her character grounded. And for all those reasons, you just root for her throughout the whole thing. I think with audiences, sometimes Ryan Reynolds can be pretty hit or miss. Some people really love his style of humour, others can kind of get sick of it. However, either way, Ryan Reynolds does something different here. He's not going for his usual meta shtick type of humour, and he handles the more family-friendly humour here really well. And it's really nice to see him do something different, something he doesn't really do. And this is also a really funny movie. John Krasinski is naturally a funny guy, so that's not really surprising, but I was surprised at the balance of humour. There's jokes for kids, there's jokes for adults. There are some very sweet moments in this film, especially in the second act. There were one or two occasions where I did kind of get chills, and the world Krasinski creates just feels so imaginative, especially in the imaginary friends type of characters he creates. And I also think this film's great from a production perspective. The cinematographer is Janusz Kaminski, who is Steven Spielberg's regular cinematographer. So, of course, this film looks amazing. The colours really pop. The colour palette gives this film a lot of personality. And I can also say the same for Michael Giacchino's score. Again, no surprise, his score is amazing. He is one of the best. But his score is magical and whimsical. There's a lot I really enjoyed in this movie. But I do think there are elements of the script that do let it down a bit. I do wish there was more development for the character of Bee, and specifically her backstory. It's touched on in the first act, but I really feel like it needed to be explored deeper in order for certain scenes that come later to have a bigger effect. Now, what I'm about to say next, I will not spoil anything. I will absolutely dance around it. But my big issue with the film is the third act plot twist. Now, while I understand the idea of this plot twist, ultimately I just found it more head-scratching and confusing than anything. Especially when you look back at previous scenes from the film and how that plot twist relates to them. Because you know when plot twists happen in movies, you kind of start to think about how it relates to the rest of the film. For me, it just muddled a lot of stuff. I will admit I wanted a little more out of If, but I still think it's an enjoyable film. It's entertaining, and I recommend you support it because it's an original big budget film, and we don't get nearly enough of those. I'm going to give If a B. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.